Hello.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah,
so
back.
Nice to see you all.
Nice of you to join us.
All the thousands of you.
Good
One
evening.
day.
It's been a while.
Has been a while. Has been a fair trip. Christmas gets
Happy
in the
New
way of
Year,
things.
everybody.
Happy New Year,
Happy
yeah,
New Year.
2023.
Yeah. Unless you
New
watch
Year,
it in
new
June,
Butt suddenly.
in which case, don't worry about it.
You should be watching on Dave.
Which is going to be the case because, like, you know, like when we become like uber famous writers, everyone's going to go
When our
back to
TV
watch
show
things in the
drops
past.
in April, and that's when everyone's going to catch about that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
they're going to be like,
Absolutely.
oh, look how it's Iolo hasn't lost his eye yet because I'm famous for having like being the eye patch writer, smoking cigarettes because I'm like, I don't know, miserable about my accident, the writing based accident I was in.
Yeah. Everybody saw
My
that
pencil!
The pencil was dull like a shark's eye.
Anyway, we delivered the bomb.
Yes,
Let's
welcome
write
back.
that. Let's write that.
That'd be cool, actually, just like a Jaws amalgam, but maybe about a seal or something, like a killer seal. I'm in for that. Something innocuous. Welcome back to episode 3 of the
20.
Driver Saga.
Episode
Episode 20 overall, yes.
So
Feels
many.
like a milestone, isn't it?
It
Doesn't
does. It does. It's not going to be. I had no consideration of the fact that it was episode 20 when I wrote this, so don't expect, you know, bells and whistles. It is what it is. But yeah, we're 3 episodes into what we refer to as the Driver Saga. We've tenuous names for the previous sagas, but this one was definitively called the Driver Saga. So we've kind of taken a sidestep away from the utter lunacy of the first half, third, eighth of this, but suddenly adventure, and we are now in a murder mystery. We're in a chateau in rural France. The Chateau de la Rouge Poisson.
Sidestep suggests that we might come back, Yola. So let's.
Yeah, never know.
I mean, to be fair, like some of the
it's a
characters,
dive.
who was it? Wasn't the Devonite just bound in probably quite a loose tie? So it's going to take some.
a lot
discipline
of the
to
characters
avoid.
are hanging in the ether.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
So the challenge is to keep them parked there as long as we possibly can. And
Absolutely.
our first jaunt into that is this murder mystery saga, which Verge started
Yeah.
several eons ago at this point.
Yeah.
But, it was 2 episodes ago.
It was.
Yeah, he set up a nice little scene in rural France.
Mine's going to be like, ding dong, who's that at the door? Oh, it's the debonair.
Exactly what I'm expecting to happen in this.
No, I have not gone back. I told myself...
Who's that under the mask? Oh my god!
The driver was the debonair. The driver-nair is what I've called him.
Driver-nair.
No, I told myself, 1, I wasn't going to introduce any new characters, and 2, I wasn't going to go back. Never go back. Never look back. So I've not done any of those things. This is very much just a continuation of the previous story, and no one should expect any more of it. So expectations at the lowest, please. But I
feel like that's the challenge at the moment, isn't it? I think we're going to try and keep this sort of thread going for as long as possible.
Yeah, I think it's
Burge had
Very
a
much
Burge had it
on vogue at the moment as well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
works with
100%.
As soon as Rian Johnson sort of catches wind of what we're doing, then we're quids in, I think.
100%. Like you'll hear about the kangaroo, and he's like, a kangaroo, yes. And then 9 times you'll have like.
It's the next logical step.
100%. Benoit Blanc and his kangaroo friend.
What would its name be? Because but suddenly is a thing that we do. What would the thing that he picks up? What would its name be? What would the title of that movie be?
The Chateau sort of set.
No.
Kangaroos out.
The first round, I reckon.
The first lot.
Yeah.
Poor. You can't contain that in a single title. I don't think.
That's it's a bold
Vague as
question.
possible.
Finding Our Footing, the TV show.
Yeah, the
5.
The completely unnecessary prequel to what we do after it.
How long did it take you to write this show?
If I'm perfectly honest, I finished it yesterday. It was one that it was one of those things that is like so common in like writing things, is that it's so fresh and clear in your brain. I was like, I have every beat of this mapped out in my brain, and then as soon as I sat down to write it, it just crumbled, and I was like, oh, and I was like picking up the pieces of like what I'd vaguely remembered I wanted it to be and stuff, and I feel like it's in a decent place, but yeah, I had this like really vivid idea that I was like really hoping it like just bound onto the page, and I genuinely found it hard. I did find it quite hard. I struggled with like characters. I read Phil and Burgess again, and I think I was like commenting to you guys going like, I have no idea who Hetty Gardner is, and I have no intention to bring her back, so you can get fucked, Hetty Gardner.
I don't think I even used Hetty Gardner.
You did use Hetty Gardner, Mister. No, you did early on. I think I think there's been a confusion somewhere in that Luke lost the role of Beryl from one episode to the next. Luke was Beryl and Burge was Hetty, and then in the second episode Beryl was played by Burge, so I think Beryl became Hetty.
Right.
I think, I'm not sure, but there's been a lot of posh ladies.
Go with it.
It's fine. I think there was some sort of rationale for changing it because I don't think Burge had that many characters and Luke had a couple of key characters, so I think it was just kind of sharing the joy of it.
Same thing, Phil.
Yeah.
Burge, you are Beryl. I'm sorry, buddy.
Okay.
I did the same thing. I did want to be like, there's 5 of us, 4 of us are the readers. I tried to sort of like pull, when I'm like writing my own script, I tried to pull myself back because I know I'll be reading the scene descriptions. So like there's 4 people reading, and the nature of this thing is that it's like an ensemble thing. There's a lot of people talking at the same time, which is a challenge in and of itself, and it was really interesting. But I've kind of like, just for my own sake, kind of like mentally compartmentalized everyone into like certain groups, and those groups, even though there's like quite a significant amount of the originals, I've only focused in on like a few of them, and the others I'm like, I feel like they're there. If you fancied like a snooty old lady gag, you can pull on Mrs. Beige. If you wanted like a droll, boring old guy, posh guy gag, you can go to Mr. Beige. But like a lot of that, like they're not featured a lot in this. But it is quite interesting. I quite like the idea that like, you know, like all these little side characters, and it kind of adds to the intrigue. I find it interesting in this one particularly because the absence of some characters could be construed as kind of like guilt, if you know what I mean. Like people are like, oh, if they were to read this as a straight up murder mystery, they'd be like, oh, he didn't feature in episode 3. Maybe, you know, they were hiding or whatever.
So with that in mind, do we want a sort of a recap and a kind of a delve into the characters a little bit before we jump in? Was that
100%? I am in for that.
Will there be a transition?
Oh, Luke, can you give me a sound, please?
Wow, 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 wow.
Thank you. Excellent sound. Good sound, Luke. Good sound.
Well done.
Yeah. So, as is the nature of murder mysteries and closed room mysteries, and as this sort of is ending up being, there's a lot of characters. A lot of people have to be suspects. There has to be a victim. There has to be a detective, and there has to be a fair number of suspects that you can, like, kind of like lean on. So we do have who I've referred to in my little internal document as Easterners, but in the script, I believe I refer to them as the originals. These are the original residents of the chateau, sleeping in the house when the murder took place. And they consist of Marcel Marsupial, who's kind of unforgettable.
Thanks.
You can't forget Marcel.
You're welcome.
Marcel.
Still great.
Absolutely fucking banger of a name. He is a kangaroo with a mime artist face. I believe he's a performer. He performs.
He's a mime artist. Yeah.
He's a mime artist, yeah.
So, but like he's, I think
Stuff
he
to
makes
get
reference.
into for kangaroos.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like not that
that
go-to.
niche.
I do think he refers to having a significant performance coming up in one of Phil's scripts. So yeah, I imagine he's maybe of some acclaim, like somewhat famous. I don't know. I'm kind of interested in hearing about your headcanon of the Chateau. Is it somewhere? I think Burge did say like it's one of these places. It's one of these places that he's just not quite made of money, not quite like a rich person place. But is it like a lavish place for people to stay? So would you say that the people who are staying there are moderately successful?
I thought it was, but this is, again, it's open to interpretation. I thought it was just Cyril Basingstoke, who's the owner.
Proprietaire.
Is old money running out of money.
Yeah, so it's like he's inherited this like family chateau. It's like a lavish place in the 1800s or whatever, but he's just kind of latching on to his family name and just trying to turn a coin on it, basically, because he's not.
So it's a B&B now.
Yeah, it's a B&B. He's not got any talent in his own right, but because he inherited this nice building, he's kind of touristic about it.
By the nature of it being a nice building, surely he can charge kind of an extortionate price, or do you imagine he's just sort of like taking anyone who's willing to come? Because he has got a group of Americans. He has organising murder mystery weekends. So like maybe he.
I wouldn't think it'd be like just a slum-it type place. You'd have to.
No, I don't think so either.
It's not.
If that's what you've done, Iolo, that's fine.
I was going to say, let's just read this because you're asking questions that Burge might have.
I'm genuinely.
I'm just curious to see where it's come from.
I apologise.
Then no, it's like.
Just be confident. Be confident. Own it.
Believe in yourself.
I think me and Burge are on the same page, or rather, I think I interpreted.
I think so as well. I think I'm.
I get the idea. It's a bit sort of run down. It's a bit shabby, and he's just trying to keep it up.
Faulty Towers.
Sort of. Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. Good, because then you'll be okay with what I've done. No, I'm just kidding. I've literally just used a script of Faulty Tower.
The Spanish waiter, right?
Yeah. Who gets a phone call from Russell Brand. There's Mr. and Mrs. Beige. Do you remember that? That was
topical.
Very topical. Yeah, very relevant to now. We've got Mr. and Mrs. Beige, who is a couple, and as their namesake suggests, they are both fairly described as somewhat boring, dull. I'm not sure if you'd agree with that.
Beige.
Sort of beige, yeah, like a snooty. Mrs. Beige is definitively referred to as snooty, and Mr. Beige is described as speaking in a low drawl. And he's a posh old man, so I imagine they're just poshos. My headcanon is those the couple from Gogglebox that call each other Nutty. Do you know them? Like, that's who I'm picturing, but like an elderly version of them. Relevance yet again. I'm good at that. Bring it down to like the teens, because you guys are just like so old, like no one understands your references. We've got Beryl Bainbridge, who is another posh old lady, but she has glasses like binoculars, is what she's described as, and she's also referred to as snooty.
She's anxious. I think that was in my script. I wanted her to be anxious. That was like her defining trait. But
perfect.
Just a different inclusion of like 3 snooty women.
No, that's
one of them is anxious. Different.
Yeah. Slightly anxious, more anxious. She was in Phil's script. She was the one that was like kind of leading the charge on like accosting Cyril. So it kind of serves into the anxious thing, is that she's sort of like fairly annoyed that she's having to stay there. We've got the victim, Roger Townsend. He was he Cockney? Was he?
No, he was Northern.
Yeah, he was Sean Bean.
Sean Bean, that was it. Yeah, he was Sean Bean.
Bastard.
Sean Bean was a gay robot.
Yeah.
He could be. He's got the range.
Yeah.
Do what he wants.
Phil say do it again.
Bastard.
He is who was murdered initially. He is the original death that spurred on the arrival of the driver. He was revealed to be a robot. He was also revealed to be a postman. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Well, that's his husband assumed he was just this Postman from
Posty, yeah.
Doncaster.
Yep, Posty from Doncaster.
Scout's husband, George.
Yep. In Burgess' script, the driver's little bots tend to his wound, so they fix his wound, which was a giant borehole or giant hole in the chest, which he starts pulling things out of and all sorts of things. And he's also had his memory wiped. So even though he's actually living, he can talk. He is a severed head that's flopping about. He does not remember who killed him. So the 48 hours previous had been erased from his mind. And then you have his husband, George Townsend, Scouse guy, husband to the recently deceased. He was unaware that his husband was a robot, and seems last we saw him, he was pissed off at the driver because the driver referred to his husband as a dishwasher. Which was, sensitive as ever, as the driver is towards robots. We have Robert McCoy.
Driver's not been sensitive. Yeah, so
he's a bit insensitive. No, carry. Like, you guys can carry on if you want. I'm just listing
names
here, guys.
Seemingly quite brusque, isn't she? There. Yeah, kind of just stomps onto the scene. Everyone else assumed it was just an actual murder, wasn't it, of a human? It was the driver that established that he's actually some sort of android.
Yeah, and there was blood and stuff, so it was like very much like an android with like blood and all
there was
stuff.
like visceral.
It took a while of looking to determine it was a robot.
I think wasn't it some sort of like digital mirage that she'd uncovered the driver? She found a switch somewhere that kind of cleared all the
they got all the
holographic blood or whatever and guts. And
but like the driver seemed to be somewhat acutely aware that it was a robot, because she comes in and refers to it before she even sees the body. So I think the driver seemingly knew somehow that it was a robot death as opposed to a human death.
We've got boss who's a snake person.
Snake person, yeah, very
snake
important.
Person as well.
Very
You're seeing
important.
snake person.
Not at all.
One regret is I didn't get Iolo to do is like hissing snake voice over. Is an overlay to the conversation.
It's my niche. Is like I do fish people, I do snake people. It's my bag. I got snakes and fish covered, guys. I've got it. We have Robert McCoy, who was introduced in the last episode. One of the unseen faces that Burge opened up to the writers. Robert McCoy is Scottish, and that's about all we learn about him. Robert McCoy was Scottish. Hetty Gardner is old and posh. Florence Desjardins is like stylish and French, and that is it for the originals, I believe. There could be more. I might have missed them. Then we've got Americans, who Phil introduced. The Americans arrived on the scene and they expected a murder mystery. We have Andy, the tour guide, played by Burge. He's enthusiastic. He's also referred to as the worst on stream by you guys, not on the script. And he's the organizer of the Americans. Like, he's just like one of these like typical American, like, hoo-ha, let's go, guys. We've got Brad.
I like Andy. I thought he's nice.
Andy's all right. We've got Brad, who's enthusiastic, uses a lot of like hipster youngster slang, and he's just like a typical American sort of like cool kid. We've got Lucy, who's sort of like similar to Brad, sort of like has a similar vibe. And we've got Bruce, who's the obnoxious one of the Americans. Seems to be sort of like, I assume he's Texan only because he likes Texas Hold'em, but that could just be like, he could be from anywhere, I suppose. But he I think he has some.
They bloody love it. They bloody love it, don't they?
They Texas. Can't get enough of poker, the Texans. And he's a bit obnoxious. He almost comes to blows with the originals over like a game of backgammon in the episode. So he's a bit of a.
He got a bit pissed, didn't he? He was quite drunk and disorderly, shall we say?
He was, yes. And we have the staff: Cyril Basingstoke, proprietaire and in-gouverneur of the Chateau. He's a terrible Frenchman, and he's an even worse Englishman, as I've written here. And he's got bushy sideburns, as described in the script. And I just thought that was so funny. I didn't pick that up the first time, so I wrote it down.
That's the first time I noticed.
I know, yeah. We have his assistant, Monique, who's a Cockney lady pretending to be French. She is the driver, and Cyril know her true accent, as do the staff. And she's she's normally played by me, but because of me writing it, Phil will be playing her this time round. Phil's going to take over for Monique. He's also going to take over for Marcel. And then we've got the two chefs that we met in Phil's script, who are called Claude and Clarence. They don't appear, so you don't have to worry about it. And then the external people is we have the driver, who's kind of the main driving force. The main character, she's the investigator, hates robots, kind of hates people as well. She's kind of like miserable to people, and she's like pretty much like straight down to earth. I think she's described in Phil's script as having, not Phil, Burgess script as having like tattoos and like having like sort of like a short.
Like an undercut or something.
Undercut, that's it. Yeah, undercut, and she's like, like not someone.
Can I just ask? Have you put any of this sort of direction, so to speak, on the script itself?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you were saying before you got here, Luke, that he's kind of gone back over the original descriptions for our benefit.
Yeah, I have. Just because it's. I was in the position when it was Phil and Burge's turn, and I'm hopeless with names notoriously. I was like not lost because I would get the gist of it, but it took me like a few lines to go like, oh. No,
yeah. I was meaning in the sense that when just because you obviously lots processed, a lot of characters.
100%. So and that's it. That's the breadth of it. Mine is very much focused in on like the originals and the Americans, so you don't have to worry about it. And I have like given you designations as to what you guys sound like. So should we just get straight to it?
Awesome.
Let's do it.
100%. All right, let's get into it. Luke, sound me, please. Oh my god, I thought you went on the right. This is full of errors.
Rusty.
Doesn't matter.
Rusty production.
Behind the curtain. This video will be getting edited.
Heavy edits. Well, everyone should clap regularly just so that I can get a point to go like getting rid of that. Right. Let's get into it, shall we?
Sure thing.
But suddenly, episode 20, Holding Kangaroo Court, written by me. The role of Monique and Marcel will be played by the Honourable Phil Roberts for this production. Previously, interior, Chateau, hallway, night. Monique makes her way through the house past the paintings and dusty bust of the old Basingstokes, all of which seem a bit creepier in the evening light. There's a stillness to the paintings now, although some of them seem to be watching on with alarmed expressions as the faux maid makes her way up the stairs. She consults her notes, quickly confirming something.
Quick question.
Yes.
Even though I wrote this scene, is Monique Cockney or French at this point?
Phil,
she's by herself.
She's by herself, so it'll be Cockney. Yeah?
She's Cockney.
And then she'll have to slip into French as needed. Okay,
yeah.
Room 16.
She passes rooms 11, 12, 13.
16. Ah, here we are. Oh.
14, 15, 16. Monique stops by the door and taps her foot on the ground. There's something sticky underfoot, something viscous. She taps on the door with a degree of urgency now.
Still Cockney? She's talking to me.
When it's mine, I tell you when it's Cockney and when it's French. But like for now, you know, it's your bit, Phil.
Oh, play how I like. Well, I don't know. Shouldn't be struggling with this. Really, but this one.
It's early doors, mate.
Hello. Are you in there? No, it's German. Let's go to the
Love it.
Well,
Fraulein!
Bonjour. Hello? You in there? Only, it's at 5:30 and it's nearly 9. Hello?
More of the sticky substance trickles out of the room through the crack in the door. It's unmistakably blood. I like that line because it's like, you're not getting away with this shit. It's blood, you fuckers. Monique breathes heavily as she begins banging on the door. Actually, it ended up being oil and it's a robot in there. No, it's like, I love that. It's unmistakably
I need to
blood.
respond or I'll let myself in.
She nervously reaches for her spare keys, dangling by a chain on her waist. Her hands fumbling, she finally finds the right key.
Okay, I'm coming in.
She unlocks the door and nudges it open. We don't see inside. All we see is Monique's face turn a ghostly white as she lets out a piercing scream that rips into the night. Monique doesn't even notice the figure emerging from the shadows behind her, when suddenly we bear witness to the room. The driver sits innocently at the end of her bed within the empty room, a bloodied knife clutched in her grasp. Her hand seems to be trembling. She stares out into the middle distance as blood pours from a wound on her head. Her head and clothing are caked in blood.
Fucking sacré bleu.
Yes. I knew at this point Phil was playing Monique and I was like, that first line's got to be something fucking amazing.
Do you remember flashbacks to very quickly? My Monster of the Week character.
Yeah.
I was like, completely forgot about that. Just need the voice mode. Just came back.
Well, Megan. Was it Megan? I can't remember now.
Megan. Was it Megan? Yeah.
Maggie.
Maggie.
Maggie, yeah. Monique rushes to the driver's aid, who barely gives her a passing glance, still staring off into nothingness. The shadowy figure in the corridor slinks away, leaving a thin trail of blood along the corridor floor.
What happened?
I stabbed someone. Lower abdomen, I assume, from the blood on the knife. Perpetrator entered through the window. Bottom corner of the curtains have dirt on them from where they entered. Waited here for me in the wardrobe. Its door is slightly ajar. There's one thing I've still not quite figured out.
What's that?
Where the hell am I?
Cut to interior drawing room late night. A gaggle of Chateau residents idle in the grand drawing room. Cyril fronting a slew of angry questions from the residents as Andy attempts to organise his tourists in the far corner of the room. Mr. and Mrs. Page have turned in for the evening, owing to the lateness of the hour and their relevance to this episode.
Really now, Cyril, it's absolutely ridiculous. We're forced to stay here. My voyage has already been prolonged for 2 days, no? I have locations to be, the person now to see.
Very nice. Robert McCoy, which one was that? Scottish. Aye, laddie, I've got to be making my way back to motherland. I can't be spending another night here this side of the channel. People start talking.
Nice.
I understand your concerns, mon amigos, but really ought to get this cleared up. And Monique said the driver had a pretty solid idea of what's occurred, so it shouldn't be too long now.
Cyril's voice was absolutely clear to me as I was writing this. I don't know why. I was just like, yep, I got him.
Yeah. He's one of those characters really easy to slip into.
Yeah, 100%. He's the best.
Right lines for. Yeah.
The group quickly goes silent as Andy, the American tour guide, ambles over to them.
Gosh, I'm ever so sorry for interrupting you fine folks. I was just wondering when you think this whole murder mystery weekend would begin. The cattle are getting mighty riled up, if you catch my drift.
That's awesome, that Burrs. That's very good.
Excellent.
That's what somebody from America would say. So
I like that.
That's good. Yes, all in good time, monsieur. We should be at the ready inn.
The door to the hallway bursts open. Monique appears looking dishevelled and slightly bloody.
There's been an attack. The driver, she's hurt.
The crowd all seem aghast. Well, it's about goddamn time.
What? I mean, pourquoi?
The Americans seem to be delighting in the news. Andy ambles his way over to the rest of them.
Right, folks. Seems the murder mystery has begun. Get your listening caps on.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves now. Monique, what are you talking about?
Lead driver. Lead driver. It's only hard to distinguish between Florence and Monique, so I need to be shit French as opposed to French French.
I love it.
Lead driver. Someone came into Madame's room. She's.
Cyril, what kind of establishment are you running here? A second attack in the matter of...
Cyril coughs loudly to cover Meryl's discussion of the initial attack.
Excuse-moi, Beryl. Ixnay on the attack, yay, in front of the American, eh?
That's a delivery and a fucking half. That nicely done. Beryl falls silent.
Second attack? Did you say second?
Well, folks, seems the murder mystery has started. Get your pens and paper ready. You'll need to be on the gander for some didgeridoo clues.
I was so proud of didgeridoo clues. You have no idea. I could have done a laugh of honour.
Fuck off.
Oh my gosh.
Marcel winks at Cyril, who returns a befuddled look.
Mate, permission to make a TV show.
Didgeridoo clues. It could be like a Blues Clues spin-off. I'm there, but...
Mate, we have to sell that to the Australian government.
Didgeridoo clues. Didgeridoo Blues Clues.
Sorry.
Marcel winks at Cyril, who returns a befuddled look.
Pen and paper? Oh, gosh darn it. My notebook's in my room. I'm going to go fetch it.
I'm going to get my magnifying glass.
I'm going to go see if I can strong-arm some of the workers. The Americans leave, with Andy chasing behind them.
Remember, folks, don't perturb the establishment while looking for clues. If it looks antique and fragile, best assume it isn't part of the game.
The remainder of the chateau wait until the Americans are out of earshot before proceeding.
What did you do that for, Marcel?
Sorry, that's you.
Still me. This is me, yeah?
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
What? Gets him out of our hair for a while, doesn't it?
Monique, what's happened, lass?
Well, I went to fetch the driver, and she was just sat there in a pool of blood, clutching a knife in her hand. She's taken a knock to the head and seems a bit dazed. And, well...
Monique tosses her hair nervously.
What?
She says she can't remember these last 2 days.
The group give each other concerned looks before rushing off down the hallway toward the driver. The room is left still and silent by the splittering of the fireplace. The fire crackles within the barren drawing room, casting a flickering shadow on the variety of gauche tat that fills the room. The calm of the room is interrupted by a cuckoo clock, which whirs into life suddenly. Two diligent little wooden workers in lederhosen whiz out of two little doors either side of a bell at the clock's centre. They follow a track, holding tiny hammers within their grasp. We focus in on the pair.
Has it been an hour already, Jürgen?
It must be so, Gunther.
They ring the bell with their tiny hammers.
Ding! I love
What
that.
a day. What a day for bell ringings, is it not, Jürgen?
It is, Gunther. Good bell ringings day to day.
Ding, ding.
This is mine, Luke.
Sorry.
Wow. Luke is vying for the bell roll.
Let's hope we do good. Like 11 p.m., Gunther?
Good bell ringings, that one, Jürgen.
Ding!
What did you get up to in your little man-sized box, Gunther?
This is going on longer than I thought it would, to be honest.
Well, you guys have taken it upon yourself. Deep German, I meant like really, really German, but you guys have gone deep voiced German, which I'm in for. I'm cool for it.
What's deep German?
Deep German is in like very German. Not like, I am German. But I'm in for it. Never change it. Never.
Say deep German voice. This is what you get.
Very German.
Yeah, very
Carry
German.
on. It's perfect. It's perfect. I love it.
Trey German. I don't know. Oh, you know nothings, just thinkings, Jürgen.
Luke?
That's funny.
Ding.
He did it. He got it off.
He did it. All right. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, he did that.
Thief now. Who's the thief, Yellow?
Sorry.
Thinkings like what, Gunther?
Or, you know, thinkings of time and these things, Jürgen.
Time, like what's things of time?
Fucking hell.
You did it to yourself.
I see the mistake of our ways now. I see where we went wrong. Well, like how we split time into hours, minutes, and seconds. How it is all arbitrary based on fundamental miscalculations, Jürgen. Like how we divided the cycle of the Earth around the Sun into 365 days, but it not. A day into 24 hours when it not. Nature does not comply with our arbitrary designations, and yet they are fundamentally created based on our attempts to compartmentalize nature itself, Jürgen.
Ding.
Right.
Luke?
Ding!
Phil?
Ding!
What did you thinkings about, Jürgen? Why is he looking at
Ding!
I thought about pretzels, Gunther.
Ding!
That's you again, madam.
where?
Right.
Oh, right.
Right, well, goodbye, Gunter.
Bye, your gun.
The little lederhosen men return to their respective compartments. Sorry about that.
I think Commander 2 is the murderer. It's just my little theory at this point.
What? Cuckoo Man 2.
It's obvious if you think about it. Yeah.
100%. Cut to interior driver's room day. A gang of European Chateau residents gather around the driver, who now spots a large bandage on her head. Beryl waves a finger in front of her, checking for signs of a concussion.
Now, how many fingers am I holding up, Mrs. Driver?
Beryl holds up 3 fingers.
Smoker, judging by the yellow on the inner finger. Somewhat of an avid gardener. Hint of green on the nail. Vegetables, more likely, judging from the flushness of your hands. Earlier signs of anemia. You're a vegan, means you're not controlling the diet properly. You're either careless or it's a new venture. Judging by the tidy hem of your skirt, I would estimate the latter. Likely recent divorcee, drastic changes to lifestyle, usually mar up some sort of significant, devastating life event. Demeanour too pleasant to be your widow.
You're right. She seems sound of mind. Did you not get a good look at your attacker? No idea who might have done it.
Barely remember it. I just woke up with a knife in my hands.
Dearie me. Let me make sure that bandage is on right.
Beryl continues to tend to the driver as Cyril, Marcel, Robert and Florence gather out of earshot.
2 days. Just like...
I know, Robert.
You think she's a...
She can't be.
Oh, she bloody hit them.
Yeah, well, I'm hardly too fond of kangaroos either. Doesn't make me a bloody dingo now, does it?
The group look over to the driver as Beryl checks her pulse.
She can't be. Surely it's just related to a head injury. She was attacked. I mean, she's bleeding.
So did Monsieur Roger.
The driver grows tired of Beryl's care and waves her tender hand away. She gets up angrily, briefly waving as the blood rushes to her head.
Right, that's enough of that. Listen here, you bunch of toffs and
The driver looks to Marcel.
kangaroos. Tell me where I am. Sorry, let me do that again. Tell me where I am this instant. I'm not one for taking holidays in rural France. I take a week trip to Benidorm every year, so I know it's not that. I'm here for a reason, and I'm tired of all this stupid secrecy nonsense. Out with it.
The gang look at each other uneasily.
Calm down, dear. You'll do yourself no favours.
Tell me to calm down. I just woke up in some gauche chateau in rural France. Tell me where I am, or I'll break those 2 fingers of yours.
We've no need to get violent, Madame Driver. There's a perfectly logical explanation for all this. What's happened is...
Cyril is interrupted yet again by the door of the room bursting open.
We found one.
Excellent reading that. The group turns toward the door in shock.
Sorry? We found one. A clue.
Clue? To what?
The murder mystery. Duh. You should know. You're a part of it.
Andy goes rushing out of the room excitedly.
Murder mystery?
Yes, well, you see, the thing is...
There's a murder mystery weekend on. I, bloody drongo that I am, told the Americans that you're...
Murder mystery weekend. I love murder mystery weekends. When you bloody say so. Now, this is my idea of a weekend away. Murder mystery in rural France? Yes, please.
The others give each other a puzzled look.
You like murder mystery weekends?
Oh, yeah. That, escape rooms. Bit of an enthusiast, if I do say so myself. I'm a detective by trade, you know.
You don't say.
The driver whips out her mobile phone, turning it around. There seem to be 2 empty slots at the back where her little robot helpers were.
Where are my little bots? They'd love this. Damn, must have forgotten them.
The others look at one another uneasily.
Yes, well, that's not actually...
Marcel nudges Cyril.
That's exactly it. That's why you're here. Murder Mystery Weekend, yep.
Cyril flashes Marcel's stern eyes. The driver looks quizzical a moment.
What about the knife? The blood?
All part of the game, oui. You need to figure out who entered your domicile.
So, the scuffed curtains, the wardrobe unit being ajar, it was all you lot?
Yep, all us.
Fairly rudimentary clues. Picked up on them straight away. Here's hoping the rest for slightly more challenging.
Oh, they will be, I assure you.
So I didn't stab anyone.
Of course not. All part of the game.
And a head wound?
You tips on your way in. Must have muddled your memories a bit.
There's a small pause as the driver considered this a moment. The others look nervous.
Oh, gosh. Bloody klutz I am.
Sorry, that's you again.
Oh, you are I. Well, maybe we should go see what that American's found.
Crikey, yeah, absolutely.
The group rush out of the room. Cyril flashes Marcel an angry look, who shrugs innocently. Beryl places a tender hand on Cyril's shoulder before following the group. Cut to exterior Chateau back garden night. Flashlights at the ready, the Americans lead the way to show the Europeans their findings. The driver follows suit, still clearly not quite right in the head.
Yeah, so using my magnifying glass, I found a trail of blood leading from the driver's room. We followed it and it led here.
The group arrive at the foot of the forest beside the chateau.
Then we poked around and we found this.
Lucy focuses her light on the ground, where a small piece of jewellery sits. Florence kneels close to it.
A red herring?
A red earring, yes.
Interesting.
Okay, Elmo. It could be nothing.
No, this is something. You see how it's resting atop the blood? Means it couldn't have been there previously. It was dropped by the attacker.
Oh, wow, you're right. Hey, you're good at this.
Thanks. Seems to be ruby, inlaid with silver. A strange pattern to its band. Not something I've seen before. Need to take it inside to gather whether it's pure corundum or not. Good find.
Thanks.
This well could be the clue that breaks this entire case wide open.
A red earring?
Yeah.
A red herring will break this entire case wide open.
I sure hope so.
A red earring.
That's right.
Right.
Bruce joins the group, having just come from inside the chateau. I had a word with the staff. Cook seemed to be... I had a word with the staff. Cook seems to be hiding something, but they've rock-solid alibis. Probably the various health violations in the kitchen. It's no wonder the soup is so crunchy.
Well, I suppose that's Bunn work, guys.
Bon work.
Thanks. I must say, what an inventive and refreshing take on the whole murder mystery thing.
Absolutely. So often when we do these things, it's just your plain old lights off, someone's killed scenarios. It's a nice change of pace.
Well, do you do these things often?
Oh, yes. These three are part of the Murder Mystery Collective. They tour the world doing them.
We do. Can't say much about the quality of your fake blood, however. Bruce runs his finger through a bloodstain and pops it in his mouth to the Easterner's chagrin. Kudos on the copper taste, but it's the thickness that gives it away. Hardly realistic. But the whole attacker angle is pretty good.
Absolutely. It allows us to test our skills, interview the victims. We actually wouldn't mind asking you a few questions if you don't mind.
Actually, fellas, the driver here is going to join you.
The victim? Join us?
Yes, well, she's not the victim per se. She's on the Murder Mystery Weekend too.
Cyril looks to Beryl sternly, who lowers her head in shame. The victim is also one of the ones solving it?
Too bloody right she is. She bought the deluxe package.
I'm a big fan of murder mysteries. I'm a detective by trade, you see.
Amazing. Any cases you solved we might have heard of?
Oh, I don't know. I solved the shoebox canoe murders. Maybe you've heard of it?
In New Hampshire? Oh my god, that case is what got me to murder mysteries.
Wait, Brad. Wait, you're that driver? One and the same. Oh my god.
Sorry, buddy. I know. I tried to figure things out, but like some of them.
Solving a mystery alongside the driver? Cyril, you really have outdone yourself.
Well, yes, merci, but I wouldn't.
And that's the least of it. You've not even seen the first victim yet.
Myself!
No, he's right. You really think I murdered mystery weekend? You really think I murdered mystery weekend? Go on with me, an actual murder. Follow me.
Robert McCoy rushes away with the Americans in tow. Cyril holds the others back a moment.
What in the bloody hell are you not playing at? It's one thing taking advantage of the driver like that, the poor woman, and now you're opening the initial murder to l'Americans.
If she even is a woman, Cyril.
Come on, she's human, you know it.
Yes, well, we thought Roger was human too, didn't we? The fact of the matter is, Cyril, as far as we're concerned, all that's happened here is that a robot has been shut down. No human has come to harm. It's all pageantry, so why not let the Americans have a crack at it? They're clearly quite good at this.
Dieu, a fake murder is what they wanted. Why not give it to them?
Exactly. In this way, we can all bloody go about our business. We can vacate our rooms and be done with it. The driver will diligently go about what she was doing anyway. Americans as backup, we can get back to being on our merry way.
I don't know about this.
There's 8 rooms you're vacating, Cyril, in prime holiday season. Do you really want to keep footing the bill as a robot goes about solving another robot's murder?
Cyril, consider this a moment.
Come on, Metalman's not a robot. Regardless, what's the harm? Both mysteries are still being solved. It's just we're less beholden to the more domineering version of the driver. We've got a bit of leeway. We're no longer trapped here like caged.
Marshall snaps his fingers as he's trying to find the right word.
Animals?
I resent that, but yes.
The group makes their way towards the chateau. Beryl and Cyril lingers a moment.
Doesn't seem right, Beryl.
I'm sorry, Cyril. Don't mean to make this hard for you, but there's only so long you can expect us to stay. This isn't like your Agatha Christie novels, Cyril. We're real people and kangaroos who have lives to return to. Who'll water my plants? Who'll look after Robert's beagle? Who'll perform kangaroo mime in Marcel's stead?
I suppose so, Beryl.
Beryl places a tender hand on Cyril's shoulders and continues to the house.
Sacre fucking bleu.
Cut to interior, Roger's room night. We return to Roger's bedroom where his bloodied robotic remains lie in his bed. His chest cavity having been repaired by the driver's worker droids. Robert holds court with the Americans and the driver as the others arrive.
You just got to imagine a big bloody hole right there.
That was excellent. Right there. He gestures to Roger's chest.
It's not there now, but it was. Real gory stuff. Pretty gross.
So, why is it not there now?
We had a children's murder mystery weekend. Couldn't have the little tykes bear witness to something as gruesome as that.
The Americans consider this a moment. Makes sense. So it was a perfectly circular hole, you say?
Aye. Perfectly circular. Like it was bored into his chest and his memory had been wiped.
Wiped?
Yes. He was a robot, you see. The victim was a robot.
Excellent. Murder mystery where a robot is the victim. Brilliant. What was the point of entry?
We're not too sure. We were all asleep in bed. You'd best ask George.
That's you, Luke. Sorry, I don't know why my name's next to the driver.
Thought we were like doing a switch. George?
Cyril looks momentarily mournful.
The deceased husband, poor chap.
Gross. Guy married a robot. Ugh.
Not knowingly.
How does one unknowingly get married?
Unknowing of his being a bot. Devious things, these robots.
They are, aren't they?
Marcel stares daggers at the driver. The driver, momentarily puzzled, ignores him and begins circling the body.
Seems somewhat familiar somehow.
Right, well, if you're all Bunn, I've things that need to be I'll say doink. Oh yeah, now you mention it. Yeah, now you mention it. Doink. It's italicized, so I had to lean into it.
Love it. No, I love it.
Oh yeah, now you mention it. Veggie, might be best if I shoot off too. Better call that a night.
This is just the dumbest thing. I had such a laugh. Right, Vegemite be best if I shoot off to it.
Vegemite.
And then I tried to get it to be like, call that a knife. Better call that a night. She just tried to fit as much Australian.
Get
into
out.
one line. I know, it's awful.
Horrendous.
I was just thinking to
Too
myself,
far, Yola, too
I
far.
wonder how that would be read. I just knew that Phil was reading it, and I was like, "Fucking go all out!" Right, sorry. Carry on. I was totally doing that.
Oh, yeah,
That's you.
me too.
The originals leave the Americans and the driver to their investigation. Cut to interior drawing room later. We return to the drawing room where the originals lug their large cases towards the front door. The fire has dwindled. Now just a few glowing embers. We focus in on the cuckoo clock once more. Our familiar lederhosen-clad hammerers make their way out their track.
Gunther!
Jürgen!
Ding.
Fancy meetings, you hears.
What?
Ding.
I say,
Instruction like what that meant.
I know. I wasn't sure if there was one would go like VAT, and I was like, what the fuck? No.
Have you added text?
Do you know what you should do? Yola? Just after you've written what, it's still inside the bracket. Just write in German. What?
What is
Just
German? That's the literal translation. Sorry.
Further direction. Go on.
I say, fancy meetings, you hears.
But I always hears.
Ding!
Yes, it's a joke, a gag. I say, fancy meeting you hears when I know you is always his.
Ah, right.
Ding.
What did you get up to this time, Gunther, in your little man-sized box?
Or, just think.
Oh, could you two just fucking ding? Shut the ding up already.
Fucking.
I didn't even read it right.
Do you want to try again?
Yeah,
Fair enough. Let's do it again. If we have my leading line, please.
or,
You guys have become a bunch of
just
prima donnas. I remember when you used to just read.
Oh, could you two just ding? Shut the ding up already.
I sorries.
Look.
He's not.
Oh, carry on, Phil. You could just be the bell for now.
Oh, fair enough. It's all the fudding time with you two. What are you thinking's about, Gunter? Give it a rest. You're getting my fudding tits. Ding tits.
Wow, we're sorries.
Yeah, no need to be assholes about it.
Well, it's every ding hour. Either find something new to talk about or don't ding talk about at all. You're making my bloody ears.
The bell stops in his tracks.
Making them what?
Yes, come on. Making them what? What are we making them do?
Oh, you two can ding right off.
Haha, come on, say it.
Yes, say it, Mr. Bellsman.
You're making my fucking ears ring. You happy? The lederhosen-clad men merrily whiz across the tracks back to their compartment, laughing away, leaving a solemn bell at its centre. We pan out to the drawing room, where the originals are all making their way towards the front door with large cases in their grasp. Cyril and Monique come rushing out, blocking the group's exit.
Arrestes, por favor. Yeah, should we hold off a sec?
Yeah.
Well, he's not got any lines for a little while, actually, but
There, carry on. Let's just fly through it.
sure.
Yeah, go for it.
He's got like a line just there though, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure any of us could out Scottish his Robert McCoy. no offense.
No, he's playing to his strength there, absolutely.
He is.
So, Cuckoo Man 1 and 2 was a fucking
Classic.
strange idea.
Enjoy it.
You said you weren't going to introduce. You hadn't
You
introduced
can't,
any
I know,
new
yeah,
characters,
characters.
but you
I
introduced
feel-
the two best new characters.
And I
Two new
still say
main
two
characters.
crucial characters, I think.
It's
At least one of them is a murderer.
it's so funny to me that like I was like, I knew in my heart, I was like, this fucking cuckoo shit is not gonna like fucking like land as well as it reads, because it took me so long. Because the first one has exactly 11 dings, the second one has exactly 12 dings, including the third ding. It was a fucking nightmare to plan. And then like I literally was just like,
Sorry about that.
That's not gonna dawn on anyone except for you, Iolo. Why the fuck are you even bothering? Sorry, Luke. Cyril and Monique come rushing out, blocking the group's exit.
Arrêtez, por favor. Bloody Nora, Cyril. Give it a bloody rest, mate.
No, well, I can't. It occurs to me that all this might just be a ploy for the auteur of all these attacks to make a break for it. I can't in good conscience let you leave.
What attack, Cyril? A robot was shot down. Hardly a reason for us to be held captive, is it now?
Exactement, madame. It would hardly keep people around if someone punched a hole in an appliance. Voudrez-vous?
No harm, no foul, as they say.
But it's hardly proper, is it? We all got to know Roger. Did he not entertain us with the tribulations of his postal route? Did he not play backgammon with you, Beryl, until the early hours in the morning? Did he not help you practice for your show, Marcel? He was a good man, regardless if he was one or not.
The group pause a moment.
Oh, come off it, Cyril. He was practically a bloody washing machine.
A dishwasher. The driver said he had more in common with a dishwasher.
Allons-y, Cyril. Excusez-moi.
The group pile towards Cyril, pushing their way towards the exit. Suddenly, a chair in the corner of the room swivels around, revealing George Townsend with his husband's head sat on his lap. So that's how it is it? The group stops in their tracks. That's how you all feel, eh?
It's no hard feelings, George. It's just...
Just what, eh? Just a washing machine, am I? Oh, sorry, still me. Sorry, mate. We just can't be cooped up here.
Oh, poor you. Having to stay in this lavish manor for a few days longer than you were meant to. Must feel bloody awful. Here I am, my husband just having been fucking murdered, and I had the gall to forget the plight of the fucking toffs.
Nice.
God forbid we inconvenience you.
Well, it's just, you're not exactly human, are you? And we've...
Places to be? How very convenient. George rises from his chair, carrying Roger with him. He walks in front of the group, blocking the exit. One of you lot is behind all this. Of that I'm sure. One of you took it upon yourself to kill him, robot or not. Your intent was to murder my dear husband.
You tell him, George.
Thanks, son. You had no idea he was a robot. What drew you to kill him, God only knows, but I'll bloody find out. Of that I guarantee you. And here's another guarantee. George turns the lock on the front door. As long as I'm alive, none of you lot will leave this place. George is cut off by the lights in the drawing room turning off, plunging the room into darkness. We hear the sounds of a scuffle, followed by a loud thud. When the lights turn back on, that's it. The end.
Nice.
Nice
one.
It was good.
That was
like
great.
You were very down on yourself. It was very good.
The cuckoo clock
great.
stuff was like, I was just like, this is going to not land. And I feel like it kind of did as well. I was like, this is such weird shit. But I couldn't I kind of was inspired by like that Knives Out, you know, like in the Knives Out 2, that is like that dong. I kind of wanted there to be a specific time limit to mine, and mine was the span of an hour. And so I wanted it to have a start, and I just thought cuckoo clock would be funny, that we could talk to the Lederhosen, and then Deep German came out, and I was like, I did not expect that. Hello, I am a cuckoo clock man. But it was funny. It was awesome. It was really, really fun. You guys read it excellently. Thank you very much. You did it justice. Because
I mean, because it was also a German accent. It wasn't.
100% was. I'm not denying that.
We didn't go deep.
Yeah, it wasn't
Not
just
go
us,
German.
but deep. There was German as well. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, you nailed it.
Two sides to it.
Very deep. But
Multiple
Yeah, no,
angles. So.
Layered.
I did like the end one where you just enthusiastic was like, bye Gunter. Like it was just like, I really quite liked that. Yeah, but as Phil said, Cuckoo Man 2 is suspicious. Something about that guy. There's a killer instinct.
One of them's committed the murder, and one of them's seen who committed the murder.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can only ask one question of one of them.
But yeah,
I like that you've kind of like done almost like a soft reset on the driver.
Well, yeah, I wanted the idea.
She's got like two sides to her, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's up to interpretation now. I'm not gonna like touch it. I didn't want to like definitively say robot or not, but I think I wanted to fill it with clues, like so they're like subtle hints at both to a certain degree. So so that you guys can just like pick it up from wherever, because I just thought it'd be really funny. The original idea I had was that Phil introduced the Americans in the murder mystery weekend. I just thought how funny it would be if they just like, as a means of solving the murder, they made the Americans solve it under the guise that it's the murder mystery weekend. And then I was like, oh, the driver needs to be involved somehow, and I didn't want them to be sort of like at war with one another. And I originally intended for the Americans to be trying to solve who attacked the driver, whilst the driver focused on the original murder. And then I just thought, it's a really funny angle if like the driver doesn't remember the last 48 hours, just like George didn't. I just thought that'd be like fairly interesting, just as like a little hint of something. But there are, my headcanon is like she's not a robot. I don't think. I prefer the idea that she. It's up to you guys. I'll leave it up to you. I'm not going to say any more than that. But like there are like hints in there. Like I think the line read was that like I specified that Beryl flashes 3 fingers. And then later on, she said, "I'll break those 2 fingers of yours." Like she misidentified, even though she like did all her amazing detective stuff, she still misidentified the amount of fingers that were up, which is like signs of concussion. And just like her signs of a concussion as well as like rapid personality changes. So she goes from like misery to great, like a lot.
Enthusiastic, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I think you did straight up implicate that she's human by. I feel like you did by when you had the person taste the blood and there was a distinct taste to it. Yeah. I think that's very implicative. Is that a word? Yes, it was very implicative.
But my headcanon for that trail of blood was the shadowy figure who she stabbed. So could very well be, but you know, it's open to wherever you guys want it to be. Essentially, I just thought it'd be funny. I thought like, and it kind of like, I like the idea of grouping things. So you have.
Just as a curiosity, going back to the shadowy figure, have you? I'm not asking you to answer the question with details, but have you got someone in mind who the shadowy figure was, or is it just you throwing the shadowy figure in there?
You threw the shadowy figure. It was your shadowy figure.
Well, fair enough. Yeah.
I do have I had this other idea. Of like, I had this like other idea of like solving an aspect of it, but then I think once we agreed that it was going to be more episodes, like we were going to do this for like the 10, I was like held off on that and just thought I'd like prolong it for a bit more. And I had the idea of the red earring, and I was like, "Fucking, this is fucking genius!" I need to write 9 pages on this. Apparently,
do you know what?
When you read it, you're like, "Oh, it's loose."
I really enjoyed your reading of Cyril.
Cyril's
I thought
fucking
it
great.
was really good.
Thank you.
No. Just like it was good. It was believable. The cadences were all. I feel like what my image of the character exactly. It was good.
As I said earlier, the image of Cyril I have in my head is so clear, and I like him to the point that I think, like, as a writer, I made him purposely like sympathetic in this. Now I made him like the good guy in this one more than anything. Like, he was the one that was like, "Come on, guys, he was a nice guy. Did he not spend all this time with us? He was a good guy, even though even if he wasn't one, whatever lines." So
yeah, he's almost like he's a little bit of a swindler, slightly gone straight, sort of.
Yeah, because I just feel
good moral compass.
Yeah,
at the core.
because I feel like, you know, his ultimate like down, you know, he's lost money. He might be like a bumbling fool that like can't really manage his money, and he's got like a manor that he has to sort of like sell rooms out of. But fundamentally, he still could be like a nice enough guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, he could be the murderer. So,
I like it because it's not just like it. I think the way I wrote that character is like equivalent of the Debonair, where it's just like. 2-dimensional, or not 2-dimensional, but just like hilarious, like, you know, meant to be funny, to be
voices
laughed
there
at.
straight away, sort of thing.
Yeah. And, which was really good, and it was great. He was great in Phil's script as well. But I think, you added an element of both in the
Some
writing and the
layers.
performance, that it was
Layers.
Because I do think that like
I love Cyril. I love doing Cyril.
yeah.
See,
Cyril
my
Ace.
main motivation was what French word would sound funny coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
So, like, when I had a quick listen back before to the last episode to sort of remember what kind of voice I did, and the first word that came up was something like "calendaries." It's not even French.
I had like
it's so good.
the amount of times I had like the English to French translation up, and I was like, oh, I need to find like a word that like would kind of sound like good, and then I would like type it in, and it would be something like rubbish, and I go, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna put le good, and that's it. And literally just like italicize it because I know Adam's gonna go le good, and I'm like, oh, that's it, that's all I needed. But like Bon job, guys, Bon job.
Bon job was great. Throw Bon in anywhere, it's fantastic.
Yeah. But there's an element of like sadness to that as well when you really think about it. He's like got this manor in rural France and he's clearly not from the area and he's just trying to fit in and he's not doing it very well. I just honestly like I sympathize with Cyril so much that like it was always a consistent thing with me that he was the one that wasn't wanting to go along with the plan. I originally had Beryl join him, and I was just like, I feel like Beryl sort of like turning against him is kind of funnier. And I originally had like a lot more dialogue between him and Monique about like umming and ahhing of whether they should do it or not. And I was just like, you know what? I think Beryl would just be sort of like kind of against it, but not brave enough to say anything to the rest of them.
It's good character development. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's funny.
I really liked it. I liked the whole thing.
Yeah, it's good.
I thought it was great.
It's
good fun as well.
Good accents all round.
Yeah, well read. I mean, you guys did it justice because as I said,
do you know what? Just harking it back to when we first started playing Dungeons and Dragons and how uncomfortable any of us were doing like proper silly voices or anything like that. The heights we have climbed to.
Good job, guys.
Not even if they're good or not. It just everyone's getting stuck in.
I wonder
It's cool.
whether if we played now, I think it would still feel kind of awkward
Yeah.
to do a voice.
Not at all. No, I would
It would.
feel
I think
way
it's
better.
It's a different thing.
Yeah.
When you've got a
It's
script in
doing
front
it
of you as
yourself.
well, as opposed to
Yeah, it is.
having to come up with be a character on the spot and improvise it and do a voice.
And there's something about
there's
the
an
fact that
element
you're like a gremlin or something going. You know, you're just like, yeah, that feels worse than.
You can do that bit.
Not even D&D. If we
Just
were
going to
playing
note
a
that down
game
for the
that
next
was-
script.
Gremlins, please.
If we were playing a game that wasn't D&D, that was like a different setting, I would even then. I feel like people have inhabited a lot of characters now, and I think at this point, generally, we're doing an all right job of it. And I think if we did something, not even necessarily not D&D world, but something different, I feel like people will be a lot more comfortable in
I
their
think we did get a
shoes.
bit more confident when it comes to like Monster of the Week because like we had Maggie and all that, so we still did start doing the voices and that. But I think there is an element of like someone else is telling me to do this funny voice, so I can do it. There's more of a like a you feel less responsible.
It's a challenge,
to the
isn't it?
voice.
It's like a battle, like a.
Yeah, you're not kind of pressure to come up with it by
Yeah, it's
yourself.
like less
almost.
vulnerable because like this is a character I made and he sounds like this. It's like, oh no, that's a bit weird. But like this is a
Well, don't
character
make
I
him
made and
sound
I'm
like
making
this.
you read
Make him
it.
sound cool.
No, I sound like this.
Make him sound deep German.
Deep German. I was going to say deep German. Deep
German.
German, please. I'm going to
I am Clockwork One, the Barbarian.
It was funny to me because in my mind, because they were clocks, it was like running quite fast, and then like the fact that it was like deep German drawl just made it so much funnier. And then the fact that I knew that big thing was coming, I was like, oh yeah, you guys have shot each other in the fucking foot, yeah.
So is Adam up next? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam.
Excited.
Feeling good? Feeling good?
Yeah, I need to go back and do like a proper kind of recap of all the main beats of the last three episodes. I think just to try and get a sense of the actual story. Yeah, because I always find that when I'm actually like when we're doing it and when we're reading it, I don't fully kind of pick up on the actual story thread.
There's been things I've missed it, and you guys will be like, I think I might have missed it. I was a kangaroo for the first 15 pages or so in the first episode, just because you're like so focused on your guys' lines and kind of not trying to drop the lines.
You are like you're just like fearfully anticipating that line that has your name next to it. And you're just not really focusing on it. I know what you mean. But it's
if you remember that it's you.
Yeah, exactly. But it's great. I read the last two for this one, and like you guys have both done fucking excellent jobs. I did. Funnily enough, it was like when Luke was intending to do it, and I was telling him like what I would do. It is completely different. I was telling him earlier, like it's completely different as to like what I ended up doing. It's just funny that I just can't seem to heed my own advice. But like my intention was to sort of like do the classic, you've seen it from Knives Out, where Benoit Blanc posits a question to the entire cast, and the entire cast sort of answers it in turn. That sort of like where it's sort of like intercut as if it's like one long conversation. So Benoit Blanc says like, "Oh, so what were you up to on the night of the 4th?" And then everyone sort of like, "Well, I was doing this and I was doing that." But they sit in the same seat. It's like a carousel sort of like conversation thing. So I told him to do that, and I was like, "Oh, I'll do that as well." But I just didn't do it in the end. Can't seem to abide by my own advice, I don't think. Maybe next time.
It's hard to do in the script as well, isn't it? Because you have to intrinsically like break it up with scene direction to say like, oh, we've cut to somebody else and blah blah blah. So you lose the kind of how it appears on screen. You lose that cool like flow of it.
You do.
But I get what you mean. It's a cool idea.
It is. It's difficult to like convey what you see in your head. Like there's like small elements, like like Marcel going like trying to find the word for like caged like a, and I was picturing someone doing this, but it's really like difficult to sort of like convey that in a script, because by conveying it in and of itself, you're taking away from like the actual dialogue.
Picturing a kangaroo doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Kangaroo clicking its fingers.
Cage like a, yeah, it's one of those, and you just like cage like a is the line, and then he's like Marcel clicks his fingers trying to find the word, and then the next line is like animal, and then you've sort of like lost the, so there's like this weird like balance in the script, especially for us because we're reading it out, of scene direction versus just letting the flow go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's quite difficult.
How you didn't call this episode Didgeridoo as well, I have no idea.
Didgeridoo was like
I am
today,
going to try and work that somehow into a conversation with children over this.
I really like I'm gonna call that a night, and I was laughing to my tits off for that, and you guys were like, no, you've taken it too far. There's a line and you have crossed it. You are down under that line. But yeah, thanks for reading that, guys. I whipped it out quickly. I had like a vivid image of what was going to happen that sort of like fell apart when I written it on the page, but it was great.
Yeah, that's good, man. I enjoyed it.
Excellently.
It's very good. And I think you carried on the mantle quite nicely where we're up to. And
yeah, I do.
Just like the sort of really just like like kind of slow simmer, like it's just like sort of it's just trundling along nicely, isn't it? It's good.
Yeah, I didn't want to like take it anywhere too far, but I wanted to still introduce like a sort of interesting element. So now the Americans have like some sort of like investigation side of it, and we can sort of like split it between like actively investigating and like the drama of like the originals trying to leave and George and whatever happens with the lights turning off. I'm looking forward to seeing how it solves itself. It's great.
We also,
it's going to be a fucking
I'm not sure
nightmare.
whether they're still here or not, but we had a random viewer at some point as well.
Oh, really?
Nice.
We had
cool.
some comments in the chat.
Oh yeah, what did they say?
The first comment was workers of the world unite, just in capitals. And then seconds later, jokes aside, amazing concept. Wish you all the best in the future. Very creative idea.
Oh, that's really nice. That's lovely.
Good, isn't it?
That's all right.
That's really nice.
One workers of the
Thank
world
you.
unite. What am I missing there?
That'll tie us over for the next 2 years.
Yes. And I'm going to take that shot of sherry now. I don't even know if that was on stream when I was talking
Cracked it, boys.
Nailed it. It's not going to go to our head. We're going to be like this next time. Hello, fuckers. Subscribe for the premium edition where you actually get to see what happens next.
The premium edition, you're audible the whole way through.
I know, yeah, that's the change. That's it. Just like no technical difficulties. That's it. It's just this little button that keeps him turning off on my little. Adam, you've got a Focusrite thing. It's that 48 volt thing that just keeps turning itself off. Yeah, just turns off. I don't
know if it's not drawing enough power from your PC or something like that. It's a strange one.
Possibly. It does like it just randomly. I might plug it into the actual.
Gonna suggest we say goodnight and
let's do it. Let's do a live
100%.
Focusrite troubleshooting on the stream right now.
Shit, I forgot we were on.
It's not the first time we've done one, to be fair.
Bye guys. Bye everyone.
See you next